Hello, Connie here. Welcome to my living room. There might be some noise behind me. There's some street construction going on, so we're kind of tied up here until probably Monday. But I wanted to come to you today, and I had a special subject to talk to you about today. I had a viewer friend that asked me a couple of questions. She said, I have a friend that lost her husband 4 months ago, and she's not doing well. What could she be doing? What could I do for her? And on the other side of that coin, she also said that she knew that her days were numbered with her husband. And what could she do? And so my subject today is about that. And it's kind of like a synopsis of my 5-year journey in about 15 minutes, if I can do it. And my t-shirt says crushed, says crushed it. I forgot I had it on, but since it's here, I might as well tell you what it is. So that's my t-shirt, and I was in a weight loss program with my company, and I lost 30 pounds. And so it didn't matter if it was 5 pounds, I would have still gotten the t-shirt. So that was fun doing that. So that was what that was about, not to change the subject. So I want to tell you, if you have anyone that has recently lost their husband, or maybe it's been a while and they're still struggling, I really encourage you to invite them to join my widow's YouTube channel, and let them watch some of them, because I can't tell you how grateful I am for the love and the comments and the support that I got from so many of you guys, that you were going through similar things. And it was really helpful for you and for me. And so encourage them to watch the videos. And then we've got our Facebook Widows group. It's a private group, and if they would like, they can join that. They just have to, if you're a member of the Widows group, you can invite them. But if you're not a member of the Widows group, ask to be a member, or tell them to find me on Facebook, private message me and friend request me, and let me know in the private message that they want to join the Widows group. It's just a process Facebook makes us go through. So with that being said, most of you know, but I'll remind some, and maybe some new, that I am coming up on a 5-year journey of being a widow after 57 years. And my husband's health was not good, but his passing was very sudden. And my daughter was there with me when he passed, and he fell back and fell into her arms and died right there. And so, as with all of us, the time is very challenging, and we go through a lot. And if you're not sure, you're always welcome to go back to any of my videos. My videos started out with widows grieving part 1 and widows grieving part 2, something like that. It's part 1 and part 2. Those are my first 2 videos. And I didn't do any videos for 6 months, for the first 6 months. And then I honestly just got on here and shared where I was. If I was having a bad day or a bad week, I would come on here and tell about it, and tell how I was feeling. And what that did for me was I was able to release some of my thoughts and feelings and emotions by having somebody to tell them to, without somebody telling me what they think I should do or anything. I could just share. And so that was a big help for me. Now, I want to encourage every one of you that hears this, and everyone that you talk to that is a widow, especially the first few years. is to write down, maybe get a journal and mark it, you know, my widow's journey. And write in it whatever you want to. Don't feel like you have to write in it daily. But when you have emotions, you have thoughts, you have uncontrollable feelings or whatever, write them down. And I tell you that really, besides number one, me coming on here helped me. And because I had the widows group, there were times that I couldn't even do a video. And so what I would do is I went into my widows group, our widows group, and I would write in there what was going on and how I was feeling. And so if you're a part of the widows group, I encourage you to do that. And if you're not, please ask to join, and let's get you involved, because you can go in there as often as you want and share your thoughts and feelings. And if people respond to you, great. But if they don't, even if they don't, it feels great to get it out. And you know that someone else is reading it, and that you're not going to be criticized or shamed or judged because of any feelings or emotions you have, because we all go through it. And I want to share this piece of paper with you that I wrote in the widows group. But before I do that, I have something I don't want to forget. And that is this friend that watched my video and requested this video. She said that her friend was about 4 months into grief, and that she had really just shut herself out from the world. And that she just was shutting herself out, period. And if you watch some of my videos or you know my story, you know that I did the same thing. And I will tell you, there's a certain amount of it that's healthy and a certain amount that is not healthy. And I went through, as many of you went through, our grief during COVID. And it made it so much easier to hide out, because we were being told not to be around people. You couldn't even be around your family, anything. And so it made it really easy to hide out. And I will admit, I took advantage of that. And when my husband passed, we didn't have his services for 2 or 3 weeks. And I have a dog that needed walking every day, and I live in a small community and everybody knows everybody. And I asked my neighbor, who was a godsend to me, Nancy, and I asked her if she would walk Molly for me. Because every time I walked Molly, I was going to run into a new neighbor, and they were going to be trying to console me and asking me a lot of questions. And it was just going to be impossible. And I really didn't want to talk to anybody until the memorial, and then talk to everybody at once. That was easier for me. That's what worked for me. So I did stay in for about 3 weeks until we put the memorial together for Gar, and we had that. And then I saw like 100 people, a little over that, all at once. And so I took time to, talk to them and cry with them, and just deal with the emotions, rather than a little bit every day and dragging it up every day all over again, because the wound is so raw. And I don't know that I can do this in 15 minutes. I might try 20, just to let you guys know, and it may take a second video. If it does, I'll do it pretty quickly. But so don't let someone stay reclused too long. If you know them and they are a widow and they're shutting themselves in, don't let them stay shut in very long. If you want to help them, there's a few things that you can do. If they'll take a phone call, you can call and just say, hi, what's your day look like? Or I just wanted you to know I was thinking about you. I love you. you know, if you're calling the person, what you can say to them to a degree. I know it's always hard to know what to say to someone that's lost anyone. And a husband, of course, is, you know, just, I had someone say the other day, it was like losing one of their legs. And so there's no way to explain it. There's no way to deal with it. But let them know that you are there and stay in their sight, whether it be by phone call, by text, by dropping off little things at their door for them, whatever it takes to let them know that you are there. And when they need to reach out, you're going to be one of the ones they're going to reach out to. And if you keep showing up, they'll start receiving you. So you don't have to say anything, just show up. And one of my suggestions was, you know, hi, I'm going out for a cup of coffee. Can I bring you a coffee and a donut? If they say no, try again the next day. Wait a couple of days and try again. They'll invite you to bring them a cup of coffee and maybe a donut. You know, treat yourself. You're going through a lot. Let me get you a donut. What's your favorite donut? Or something. And then hopefully they'll let you in and you can sit there and have coffee with them. And odds are they won't take a bite of the donut and more, maybe a couple of sips of the coffee, because they'll start talking and they'll start crying. And what I want to encourage you to do is just be a listener. Even if you're a widow that's gone through it, don't try to help them at that time. Just be a listener. And let them get used to having you around. And show up. Show up. Another suggestion is offer to, now I'm limited on this because I hate yard work. But if you like yard work, offer to do their yard for them. You know, my neighbor Nancy started out doing that. She's 9 years older than I am. She just turned 89. She's still doing my yard. She loves it. It's therapy for her, and now I pay her to do it. It's just a little front of the yard in the mobile home, so it's not much, but she likes it, and she makes it look great, and I'm terrible with yard work. So I'm grateful that she continues to do that. But she started out just doing it as something to do for me. And another thing is, you know, offer, you know, after 2 or 3 weeks, you know, say, you know, can I come in and pick up your house for you a little bit, or, you know, clean your kitchen for you, or whatever room you'd like to have done. And don't offer once and they say no and stop. You have to keep going back to let them know that you are there and that this doesn't go away in a week or a month or 6 months. It takes years. And we all are on a different journey. And I want to read to you what I wrote in the Widows group in November 23rd, 2023. And I just sent this to I read it, I just ran into it today after 2 years. Well, a year, I guess. And so I read it, and I just was nudged to send it to my daughter, my youngest daughter that has the 6 kids. And I'd like to read it to you, just to give you an idea. And this was November of 23, and Gar passed in February of 24. So, no, he didn't. He passed in February of 19. So I had all of 19, all of 20, all of 21, all of 22, 23. I may get that, you get the idea. So it had been a few years when I wrote this. And I said, my picture was some flowers, and it was like for Thanksgiving at my daughter's table, I think was her table setting. And I said, I don't wish this day to be in my shoes on anyone. Just compassion and understanding for me sometimes. So don't be in my shoes, just have compassion and understanding for anybody that's going through this. I don't know where each of you are in your journey today. This holiday is hitting me particularly hard. Who would have thought after almost 5 years? I have to say, I miss my life still. This was November last year. It's just a couple of months ago. I just realized that. I miss everything about it. Even a new person can't fill the void of a lifetime of over 50 years. Not to me, anyway. I'm even missing the hustle and bustle of the earlier years. Sorry. So much warmth, happiness, and love. My youngest daughter, the one with the 6 kids, has that at her house right now. Her kids are in that spot that I remember. Of course, she's got 6 of them, so she's got every category covered. And I'm so happy for her, but I do miss when my kids were younger and my parents would drive in and spend the night and everything was so busy and smelled so fresh in my house with all of the cooking aromas for days. And Gar was always around, cracking jokes and making everyone feel good, and always taking the rabbits out of their cage and letting them run free in the yard and feeding them carrots and lettuce. He always loved the rabbits. My daughter has that same love for rabbits today. I was going to make a video on this today, but I just couldn't, so here I am instead. I'm grateful for this group and everyone in it. Each of you have my heart, and I'm grateful for you. It's nice to have someplace to go to share your feelings in private, where everyone understands and no one is judged. Thank you to each and every one of you for being here. I hope you all find a little bit of happiness during this first of 3 holidays. Happy Thanksgiving to all. So that was just this past Thanksgiving. I just dawned on me, just came to me. So it's important to write your feelings. And I wrote those, and I wrote them with tears. And then I read it today without crying, sent it to my daughter without crying. And I said to her, I hate to make you cry, but you probably will. And so I sent it to her. And she said, she's sitting in her car crying. And she said, I'm sorry, Mom. She said, you always seem so strong, but I can't imagine what you go through on a day-to-day basis. And that's the truth. So sometimes people might look at you and say, wow, you know, you're so strong. It's like if you see somebody and they say, wow, that dress is really pretty, and you don't say, oh, this old thing, I just pulled it out of the closet. Accept the compliment and say thank you. I learned that a long time ago when I was doing makeup, skincare, color analysis, image analysis, self-esteem, stuff like that. Great time when I did that. And so when someone says something to you about, you know, how you're feeling or something, or that they're impressed because you seem so strong. So they're giving you a compliment, like you're so strong. And you don't have to say, you know, I'm falling apart, or start crying and say how you feel. Don't feel the need to do it unless you really want to do it. Don't do it for them. They don't have to know everything that's going on inside you. Just say thank you, because the next time they see you, you may be a basket case. And we're going to have different times. So don't feel like you have to act or be a certain way at any time through your new journey of widowhood, because it is a journey. And I want to finish up with 2 more things, and then I'll close out. So if you can stick with me for 2 more points, short points I want to make, and that is, number 1, one of the first things I received as a gift from someone, and I recommend if you know a new widow or even one that's been a widow for a while, get this book for them. And it's called Widow to Widow. I don't have one because I keep giving them out. It's called Widow to Widow, and I don't even know the author, but you can find it on Amazon. And so get that, read it yourself if you're a widow. If you're not, give it to a widow. And the other thing I encourage you and anybody that you know that is a recent widow to get into a grief share group. And that's what you want to look for, a grief share group. And I would recommend that you look for one that's specifically for widows or widows and widowers, but not for people that have lost other family members or other people. It has to be for our loss, because each loss of a different person lands on us differently. And you can't lump them all into one. And so find a group that's just for widows and widowers, and don't skip this. It's so important. And I recommend that you try to find a grief share group in a church near you, because they have the best program. And it's like a $10 fee or something, or a $20 fee for a 6-week program. And that's because they have a book that they give you at the beginning of it. And when you go to those, please don't think that you have to go in there and you have to talk and you have to laugh or cry or anything else. You can just go in and say your name, and that's all you need to say. You don't have to share unless you feel like sharing. That's really important. But it's important that you do this step. Don't skip it. And I will tell you, it's my belief that the earlier you go through that, you may need to go through it twice. I've had some people that have gone through it 3 times. And your journey is your own journey. And don't base it on anybody else's. And if you have any questions or thoughts from this video, please share them below and we can chat about them. I can answer any questions that might come up if you want, if I can. If not, I'll find you an answer. And so thank you for sticking with me, and I'm gonna let you go. And remember, if no one else tells you today, I love you. Have an awesome day. Be blessed, everybody. Thanks for watching.